There, it's Brittany Chavers, and I'm back today with Jesse James beads and Dress It Up buttons, and we're going to make some jewelry. I'm going to be using holiday candies. This is a Dress It Up Disney collection of buttons. I'm also going to be using, this is wreaths and canes. I've already opened this one. It's got little Minnie and Mickey wreaths and candy canes. I'm going to be using some glue and some Jesse James beads. Using some of these strawberry rhubarb mini mix and elf strand from the holiday line. So let's get started. We're going to make at least a bracelet and a necklace, but we might make more. To get started, I am just going to take the two mini looking candy cane ones from the mix, or from the wreath mix, and I'm going to cut off the shank at the back. So that's going to leave a piece that may come undone. I'm just going to take my E6000 and dab just a tiny bit of glue over it. I'm going to do that for both of the mini buttons, and then you'll set that to dry for at least 20 minutes to an hour. I am also going to do with the holiday candies buttons, cut off the shanks of a green and a red. I'm not sure which ones I want to use yet. I'm just going to cut off the shank like I just did on the other one. And I am going to glue on a jump ring. I'll take my glue, put a dab at the top. I'm just going to pick up my jump ring with my pliers. It's a little easier to maneuver that way. And I'm going to put the open part of the jump ring right on that glue. Okay, and the pliers will help me maneuver my jump ring. I am going to also take like a head pin or a stray piece of wire and just make sure that that jump ring becomes embedded in that glue. And I'm going to turn it over to make sure that my jump ring is kind of symmetrical at the top. So I'm just going to move it around a little bit. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing with the red and set those aside again. I also did that gluing technique with a candy cane mini. For the bracelet project, you'll need 1 pack of these buttons, and then for the necklace, you'll need 1 pack because we need ultimately 3 minis. Start with the bracelet. I've already cut and glued my little shanks on the back of 2 of these mini candy cane buttons, and I'm going to turn them like that. I have 2 really large jump rings. I think these are 10 or 12 millimeter. And I've opened them. I'm going to slide one end on and then slide the other button on as well, and then close that up. So we're kind of making like a bracelet bar in the middle here. And I'm going to secure that with a second jump ring. You can use wire here if you don't have a jump ring this large, and just create your own by wrapping it around a mandrel. All right, so we have our 2 jump rings securing our buttons like that. And then I'm going to take some crystals from the strawberry rhubarb mini mix and put 2 right here and 2 right here, and then same on the other side. And then I grabbed the Mickey version of our buttons. I've also cut the shank off of the back. And I'm going to put his ears towards our beads on both sides. And then I have 4 more crystals from my mix. 1 right here, 1 right here, and then 1 right there and 1 right there. And we're going to connect all of these with jump rings and eye pins. You can do wire wrapped loops, but I think it's going to be a little easier on my hands if we just do some simple loops on this bracelet. So I put 1 bead on an eye pin, bend it at a 90-degree angle, and then snip. And then I'm going to do that for each of these beads. And then once I've done that for each of these beads, I will take my pliers and then turn my loop back towards my bead. Just like that. I'm going to do that for all the beads on the bracelet. I'm going to go ahead and assemble everything, starting with my little crystals. And then I'm going to take my jump rings. Again, we're using those large jump rings to get around the thickness of the buttons. And I am just going to attach one end to each ear, one of Mickey's ear and one of Minnie's ear. So it looks like that, and then I'm going to do the other ear, and then the other side of the bracelet. I actually found some 7mm jump rings that worked really well once I didn't have to have them go around two buttons, so I ended up changing out the larger jump rings for the smaller jump rings. Here is the bracelet. It is so cute, and I just added a little smaller bling ball from the mix at the end there. I'm going to grab the toggle from the strawberry rhubarb mix, and we're just going to take the eye pins and secure it right on. You could use a jump ring here. I just didn't need any more length for the bracelet. If you wanted to make it adjustable, just use a lobster clasp and a piece of chain, so you can grab onto the chain anywhere, or you can just string a couple of these loops on and clasp it anywhere in one of these loops. And there we go. There's our first project. Super easy, but high impact and so cute. I love it. It makes me so happy. And that it's Disney and Christmas. It's just such a yummy bracelet. All right, so we have our first piece. Here is our pendant or connector that I've made out of the candy cane. And I'm going to grab this little flower that was in the strawberry rhubarb mix, and I'm going to use a jump ring to connect the two. All right, so there is part of our necklace. It's super duper cute. It almost looks like a poinsettia. And then I'm going to grab our elf strand. This is probably going to be a mixed metals project because there's a lot of silver going on, but I think it looks good. I'm going to open this up. The cool thing about these strands from Jesse James Beads is you can kind of just string them as is if you need to. But because the designers at Jesse James Beads make cute mixes and cute strands, but we're going to change it up a little bit. I'm just going to move everything back and kind of see what I have. We're going to use these little bicones, the pearls, and then I'm also I still have a bunch of crystals from the strawberry rhubarb and some other beads that I'll incorporate to get more red in. Definitely want to use these greens. I liked the thought of the stacked spacers. I've been seeing that quite a bit through Jesse James Beads, through other Jesse James Beads designers, and even on Pinterest and Instagram. So I think that's a look that we're going to be seeing a lot more of, just stacked spacers. I like how those two look together. I think we're going to leave out this boho. We're going to put in the other boho up here. And again, I'm going to do more stack spacers because I really like how that looks. And then I'll put some gold at the top here. I'm actually going to put one gold bead cap right there just to get some gold towards the front. And I'm going to string. I'm going to string on some 19 strand bead-along bead stringing wire in silver. I'll need one more jump ring for the pendant. We could always wire wrap on a bead, but I think I'm just going to go with a jump ring today as the bail. All right. Take my beadle on and start stringing. All right, so I went back and forth between gold and silver, and I really wanted this to be more mixed metal, so I'm going to go with some gold chain reaction from Jesse James Beads. This does all the work for me. That way I can spend more time making different projects than making beaded chain. So I'm going to open up this chain. Now you want to be very careful when you're cutting the jump ring on the chain reaction. That is out of memory wire. It's not just a regular jump ring. So you either want to use memory wire shears or just slide the piece off of the jump ring. I'm going to cut it. And I am not sure how long I want this necklace, so I'm just going to secure it onto one end of my cord, or one end of my chain, and then I'll determine how long I want it later. So I'm going to put on a crimp bead, then slide my chain on, and then come back through that crimp bead and get out my crimping pliers, making sure that those wires don't cross. They're actually kind of crossed right now. So I'm going to make sure that they're no longer crossed. And then I am going to go ahead, slip that crimp bead into the largest valley of my crimping pliers. And then I am going to squish, turn 90 degrees, move up, squish again, and do it one more time. I'm gonna slide the end of that wire into a couple of my beads just because I like how it looks, not that it actually gives it any stability. Some people don't. If you want to cut it right at the crimp bead, totally fine. I'm gonna cut that and then slide everything down. All right, I'm gonna cut off. This was on my spool. I'm just going to cut it off now. Slide on my other crimp. Find the other end of my chain, which it's not symmetrical right now because I crimped right onto that bead. I think I'm going to cut off this little length just because I want the two front pieces of the chain to match. But I can save this to make earrings from later. Come back through just like we did before on the other side. And then I will crimp. And turn. And turn again. I'm going to cut my wire here. Now we have a really cute necklace, but I'm gonna make sure, actually I think that's the length I'd like it to be. I'm just gonna cut it in half in the back. And the way I'll do that is lining up my two pieces right here and determining where the middle is. So the middle is this crystal in the back. I'm just gonna cut that off. One jump ring I'll attach to a lobster clasp. I like to put the lobster clasp on the right side of my necklace just because I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, it might be a little easier for you to clasp if you put it on the left-hand side of your necklace. But it doesn't really matter. It's just a little easier for me to maneuver with my right hand. And then I'll put just a blank jump ring on the other side to hook onto. All right, I'm going to close this up. And here is our cute little Christmas necklace using all sorts of goodies from Jessie Jane's Beads and Dress It Up, combined with our really fun bracelet. But I had some beads left over from the elf strand, and I still have some from strawberry rhubarb. And I have some choices to make because I did one red and one green peppermint, thinking I was going to put one of them on the bracelet, but I didn't end up doing that. But now I can make a pair of earrings. I don't know if I want to do just a green pair or if I want to do an asymmetrical pair with red and green. I think I'm just going to do the green pair. I have some more of these spacers, and I think we're going to do just a quick earring using those. Let me go into my mix and grab another blink ball. I'm going to grab an eye pin and hook it on to my charm. And you can do this after you put your beads on, but I'm going to do it while it's hanging there. And then I'm going to put on my sheriff star, the crystal rondelle spacer, the flower, and actually that might be a little funky because of how the sheriff star is hitting the Mickey, but we'll see. And if we don't like it, we can change it. Yeah, I don't like that too much, but I think I can fix it. Got these guys and these. So I'm going to change. Either going to put on the bicone. Yeah, I like the bicone. So then I'll put on the sheriff star. There we go. I think it's very sparkly, and that's the thing I want when I'm thinking about holiday parties. I want sparkle. So I'm going to go ahead and create a simple loop. And I'm just going to make sure that's tight and then cut off the excess. So you see how there's some overlap there? It's just because I didn't really know how long to cut it. And I think we're good there. All right, grab some Beadalon ear wires because they're super easy. Open that up and slide that on. Hopefully it's in the right direction. It is. And there we go. That is such a sparkly, fun. It looks like a party, and it looks like candy because of the Mickey. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Willy Wonka. And here we go. I'm so excited I got to use these really cute buttons today. If you're interested in seeing other videos using buttons from Dress It Up to make jewelry, please check out my YouTube channel, Turquoise.Street. And I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thank you to Jessie James Beads and Dress It Up Buttons for having me back. And I hope you have a fun holiday season. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Are you watching Mommy eat chips? You can have one chip. That's it. All gone. No more.